Oh, hey everyone, welcome back to The Mind of Thomas. So it all started earlier this morning and I was taking my daily shower, and then it hit me. It's been almost 2 years since Super Mario Odyssey came out, but developers are probably working on a sequel by now. So with that sudden realization and the fact that I did the same thing for the 2D Mario games earlier this year, I thought I'd rank the 3D Mario games before the inevitable Super Mario Odyssey 2 comes out. Now before we begin, I have a couple of disclaimers I should probably get out of the way. In this list, I will not be including any remakes like Super Mario 64 DS, and there are a couple of games in here that I haven't had the chance to complete, but I feel like I still know and have played them enough to talk about them fairly. Now with that being said, let's go! Coming at the bottom of the list, we have Super Mario 3D Land. This came out in 2011 for the 3DS. It was the first 3D Mario game designed specifically for a handheld system. What's interesting about this is that instead of translating the big epic adventures like Sunshine and Galaxy to the small screen, they took a more simplistic approach and made a 3D Mario game that played and felt more like a 2D one. This was a cool idea and really suits the handheld nature of the game well, as it feels easier to play in short bursts. However, because of this, it's just not as fun and exciting as its home console counterparts, making it sort of the worst on this list by default. Next at number 6, we have Super Mario 3D World, released in 2013 for the Wii U. Being the first 3D Mario in HD, most expected Nintendo to go all out with an adventure as grand and epic as Galaxy on the Wii. But instead, what we got was a sequel to a watered-down 3DS game. Now, on the 3DS, I could tolerate this formula a bit more. It was still the worst 3D Mario game, but it made sense for a handheld. But 3D World had no excuse, since the Wii U was far more powerful, and everything was much more grander in scale on previous home consoles. Looking aside from that, the game is still really great in its own right. It has really good levels, fun power-ups, a nice jazz soundtrack, and even multiplayer. But it just wasn't where 3D Mario on home consoles should have gone at this time. Maybe if they treated it more like an appetizer game while we waited for a bigger, grander game that took full advantage of a Wii U's capabilities, I would have been more okay with it. But instead, it was the console's flagship 3D Mario, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest. At number 5, we have Super Mario Sunshine, released in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube. To differentiate itself from its predecessor, Super Mario 64, this game placed Mario in a beach resort setting called Isle Delfino, and equipped him with a water gun / jetpack called Flood. This definitely is the most interesting story of all the mainline Mario games to date, with Mario being framed for polluting the island with graffiti, having to clean it all up, only to find out that the real culprit was Bowser Jr. in disguise as Shadow Mario. I really like how they went above the usual standards for this game's story and location, but the rest of the game feels a little clunky and unpolished. I'm sorry to say, but graffiti cleanup isn't really that exciting, and while the water jetpack mechanic is cool, it's been surpassed easily by the spin jump and hat throw. If this game got, say, a remaster to clean up some of the issues and make the pacing a bit better, this game really has the potential to shine, and yes, that pun was intended, hate me all you want. Coming in at number 4, we have Super Mario 64, released in 1996 for the Nintendo 64. This game was revolutionary, as it truly showed what 3D gaming was capable of. Not to mention, it still holds up for the most part and is really fun to play. Mario has an expansive moveset that's a blast to mess around with, a good variety of levels, all with lots of exciting missions and lots of stars to collect, and Peach's Castle is an awesome place to explore. One thing that is a bit of a drag nowadays, however, is the game's camera, which is really weird and wonky by today's standards, and can make the game a bit more challenging. Overall, however, this is a great game, and it's impressive to see how Mario's first 3D outing set the standards for the series going forward. Now on to the top 3 games on the list, and at number 3 is Super Mario Odyssey, released in 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. This game went back to the exploration-based roots of Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, which was a great choice in my opinion, especially after the lackluster linear design of 3D World. This is one of the most creative Mario games to date, as each level is very unique and take inspiration from real-world locations like Mexico, London, and even New York City, which makes it all feel like a real lived-in world that you're exploring as Mario. This is also made more fun by the fact that Mario controls like butter in this game. He has all the essentials you'd expect from games like 64, plus a new companion called Cappy, which allows for some crazy cool jumps and the ability to capture enemies and use them to your advantage. There's a lot of other nice details added to the game as well, like costumes, awesome songs including lyrical ones, and a wedding-themed plotline. This truly is one heck of a fun game. My only real complaints here is that the story mode feels a little too easy, and I feel like Mario and Peach should have gotten married in the end. Next at number 2, we have Super Mario Galaxy, released in 2007 for the Wii. This game is an absolute masterpiece. It starts off with the most epic opening cutscene a Mario game will probably ever have, with Bowser bombing the Mushroom Kingdom with his airships, and ripping Peach's castle out of the ground and into outer space with a giant UFO. Then Mario is blasted unconscious, hurling into the depths of space, where he eventually meets up with Rosalina and the Lumas, who take him aboard the game's main hub world, the Comet Observatory, on a mission to save Peach and recover the stolen Power Stars. The level design here is great, with a new feature being able to walk around planetoids. Mario has a new companion here in Luma, which allows for spinning by shaking the Wii Remote, which can be used in a variety of ways, including attacking, double jumping, and activating objects. The Wii Remote is also used in other ways you'd expect, like gimmick levels here and there, but you can also pull out the pointer at any time to collect star bits, which is really fun and satisfying. The game also features other great touches like a grand orchestral soundtrack and a fully fledged and emotional backstory for Rosalina. This game is truly remarkable. And now, onto the number 1 game on the list, Super Mario Galaxy 2, released in 2010 for the Wii. This is the direct sequel to Super Mario Galaxy, and just like that game, is a masterpiece. Now, the story here is mostly the same, but a bit more simplified, which is a bit of a bummer, but everything else in the game makes up for it. For convenience sake, the Comet Observatory has been replaced by Starship Mario, which lets you go to all the galaxies on one world map, rather than having to trek from place to pick from a few galaxies in that area. The level design here is fantastic, surpassing that of its predecessor, and is even more challenging too, which is a welcome addition for longtime fans. Other new elements like extra power-ups and Yoshi are thrown in, which are super fun. The soundtrack is incredible, with even more orchestrated pieces, and outshines the originals for me, actually. All that goes to say is, I absolutely love this game. It is not only the highest ranked 3D Mario game on my list, it is my favorite game of all time. Well, that about wraps up my ranking of the 3D Mario games. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a big fat thumbs up and subscribe for more epic videos like this one. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go wait in line in Best Buy for the midnight launch of the eventual Super Mario Odyssey 2 release.
1 hour later.
Yeah, it turns out the devs were working on Super Mario 3D World 2 instead.